Hey everybody, welcome to What Drives Us, episode 279 for June 6th, 2018. My name is Russell Frost. I have the pleasure of being your host for tonight's excursion into the world of advanced technology, transportation, and, almost said in one breath, sustainable energy. Let's introduce the panel and move forward from there. My wingman on this show is the man with the highest albedo on planet Earth. He is my friend in Chicago, operator of the Prius Prime, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Oh, hi, everybody. He says that because I am making a series of videos, and I literally called Russell over the weekend because I was trying to figure out, I was shooting up against the green screen, and I couldn't do anything to not be one big reflection from the professional grade lights that I had. Finally got the whole thing figured out, and that's the exciting part. So I'm going to start releasing a series of videos at some point, and hopefully the lighting is going to look really good. So
the tests that Tony sent look amazing, and it looks really fun. So, and anyone who knows me, I usually don't attach the word fun to hypermiling. I'm just saying, Tony's making it work for me. The man next to him, the man in the conspicuous red sweater, is our friend in Canada, brand new Model 3 owner, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Yep, got that Tesla grin, as Patrick knows only too well.
Good times.
And Tony, so was it the shiny suit that was throwing you off, or
don't wear that tinfoil hat on camera?
I was wearing my best David Burns suit, you know.
That was it.
Why a big suit, right? Why not?
So,
why not? Well,
Mark, does your red sweater match your car?
It does. It does.
Absolutely.
How many miles have you driven it, Mark?
I only drive kilometers in Ontario, Paul.
How many kilometers?
I'm over 1,000 kilometers, but that's pretty light because I wanted to give the car a treatment on the front, the plastic covering to protect the front from rock chips. So I was kind of driving lightly around town until now. Now that it's on, look out! I'm going everywhere. So I'll be in Chicago later tonight, Tony. So we'll see you later.
People in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, please bring in your children and your pets.
Well, Patrick, I think we can answer your question, and piggybacking on your question about matching his sweatshirt. Is the vinyl wrap going to have a big maple leaf on the hood?
Not after that playoff season. No, not at all.
Oh, well, we have not only one but two Tesla owners on this show, and he is our man in Portland, Oregon, Mr. Patrick Connor.
Hello. Yes, that is correct. I do have a Tesla. I've been driving electric for 11 years now. It's good times. Yep.
Yeah.
11 years. How many vehicles over 11 years, Patrick? How many vehicles over 11 years?
Only 3. I had a Chevy pickup that Chevy actually made as full electric. A lot of people don't know that the EV1 had a truck cousin, had similar batteries and drivetrain. Wow. And I drove that until I sold it and got my Leaf. So then I drove a Leaf for several years. Actually, we still have that. It's 7 years old now. And I have a Tesla that I got in 2016.
Very good.
I love that. That is a man who is walking the talk, or whatever that stupid cliche is. But.
Yep, and they're solar powered. Just by that thing behind you there, we've got a few of those on the roof to power them all.
In fact, maybe that exact one, oddly enough. Have you checked to see, Patrick, if one of them was missing?
That's where your prop came from. I wondered.
You wondered where that drop.
Any of the cars take longer to charge?
I'm sorry. It was just kind of up there. I was going to introduce the final member of our panel tonight, but he mysteriously dropped off. Just in case he comes back, he is the founder of Boulder Hybrids, and you can find him at boulderhc.com. His name is Mr. Paul Guzik, and hopefully he will come back and join us before the end of the show. I hope there's not like a storm or something in Boulder. I always worry about that. So let's for our first story tonight. We're hoping to have Ed Niedermeyer on to talk about the article he wrote about the Tesla factory in the Daily Beast. Ed is not with us, and just in case he joins us, we'll talk about that. If not, maybe we'll save that for another time, and we'll talk about some other stuff. Hey, Paul.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's all you need to know about Paul.
Everything okay there?
I think so. My computer beeped and went stupid, but I think it's
I have one of those. I get
gotta love technology.
Yeah.
Good thing cars just don't randomly freeze up on you in the middle of nowhere.
It's a really good thing. Although you never owned a Buick, so I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit of they do sometimes. Our first story comes from Mr. Patrick Connor from his carswithcords.net site. And I'll turn it over to Patrick to intro the article and tell us about it.
Right. So this is titled 1 million EVs on U.S. roads will happen this year. So way back in 2012, the Obama administration said we were going to have 1 million cars on U.S. roads by 2015. And I've been anxiously awaiting that day ever since then. And it didn't happen in 2015. So on January 1st of 2016, I looked at the data and said, when is this going to happen? And back then, the chart that I made is at the bottom of this, and the estimate was as we ring in 2019, we're going to cross the 1 million mark. And so I've been tracking that 2016 prediction to see how accurate it was. And we just got the numbers for last month, so I mapped all that out, and that we have about 850,000 plug-in cars on U.S. roads today. And last month, May, we had 25,000 more added. So if you just say, hey, if we get 25,000 a month for the rest of the year, that gets us to 1 million right about New Year's. But I'm guessing that once we hit July, we're going to have a little more than 25,000 per month. So I'm highly confident we're going to hit it this year. And I've got a little trend chart in there to show that it looks like we're going to be hitting it in October, November timeframe. So we will see how accurate this turns out to be. But you heard it here first. I would say this is going to be news later. Yeah, sales could slump. It's possible.
No, but I was going to say, if they do slump, for sure in December it will happen because the end of year tax credit season, people buying stuff. So yes, definitely by the end of the year, but it looks like before then.
Yeah.
Right. So yep, that's my prediction. And you can expect to hear it in the rest of the media in August. Even though it's obvious. But you guys heard it here first.
Right? There you go. As always, when it comes to advanced stick transportation, we're on the cutting edge.
Yeah. We are the cutting edge.
Patrick knows how to do math, so I'm just, I can make the graph look pretty. Patrick actually,
there's Patrick can plot the graph.
Plot the graph.
You mean I wouldn't mind you having it reformat it for me and make it look nice.
Oh. Next time we'll have to talk before the show, Patrick.
Okay, cool.
Maybe put little car logos or something in there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, icons. Poker chips.
Yeah,
there you
go. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, so this was originally a 2016 thing.
Slated for.
Well, yeah. So actually, originally from the Obama administration in 2012, they said we were going to hit it in 2015.
2015.
And when we missed it in 2015 is when I started saying, well, when will it happen?
Right. What do you think that was just so this like we hear lots of things like everything's going to be different in 2020. Was it just one of those like, let's just pick some time 2 to 3 years ahead and it'll happen. You know what I mean?
Yes. Making predictions is difficult. The only thing you can guarantee is you're probably wrong. and everybody is optimistic at how fast change can happen when it's the change they want to see. So it's really difficult to divorce yourself as a fan and an advocate and be a realist at the same time. In fact, I do things like this all the time, and I get more flack from the people who love it than I do from the people who doubt it, because I put out what I think are realistic numbers, and that's not what they want to see. They want to see the whole world will be better in 6 months.
Right.
So that's,
everything's going to be great.
So you get grief being realistic instead of having the rosy picture. So all of a sudden you're a pessimist amongst the group of people that want it to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. I did the same thing with the Model 3 numbers. I said they're going to have less than 20,000 in the first year, and other people were saying they were going to have 160,000, and the actual number came out to be like 8,000. And so my 20,000 number was too optimistic, and yet I was bashed for not saying 100,000 like all the others were. So
what are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
but
I am long Tesla. I am a Tesla shareholder. This wasn't about Tesla, but just to put it out there.
You both guessed over, which means you both lost the Showcase Showdown.
Can I add a graph of my own
$1
to your graph,
right
Patrick?
Yeah.
Just to maybe give you some reason why this happened. This is a chart of gas prices for the last 9 years.
Oh.
In 2012, when I'm sorry, I didn't hit present. In 2012, when that prediction was made, look at where gas prices were.
Yeah,
when that
almost
prediction
$4
was
a
supposed to
gallon.
come true in 2015, what happened?
The bottom fell
And
out.
what's been since? So, I mean, obviously none of this stuff happens in a vacuum, but I don't think I'll just speak for myself. If you had asked me in 2012 if gas would be dirt cheap for almost 4 years, I would have said you're insane.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to predict gas prices ever going down, but they have. They did from 2012.
Yeah, and for a long, long time. And obviously, I think that probably slows things down. So, not defending the administration's prediction or anything like that. Just saying, that was the first thing I thought of. So I went to Gas Buddy and picked up one of their charts and went, "Oh, what a quinky dink!"
Yeah, when I got my first EV in 2007, and then 2008 gas prices were some of the highest we've ever had, I felt like a genius.
Yeah, David in the chat is what a lot of people were thinking at the time after $4 gas, when gas just bottomed out. He mentioned, I wonder if big oil did it to kill EVs, and there was always that speculation at the time.
Well, I don't know that it's that monolithic. I think what we've seen for the last few years, here's my theory. What we've seen for the last years are the Middle East oil producers artificially depressing the price of oil because they wanted to buy market share and put things like fracking, make that not profitable. Other things that compete with their product, other sources of oil. The best way to shut them down is to dump cheap oil on the market. You're not going to spend $80 a barrel to harvest oil if you can get really good quality oil from the Middle East at $40 a barrel, right?
Yeah, tar sands cost a lot more to process. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
exactly.
shale. Yeah, Eric in chat.
Money wise, no, I was just saying not just dollars, but environmental costs with tar sands.
Mm-hmm.
Huge environmental costs with any of these. Not that getting oil out of the Middle East is an environmental paradise, anything but compared to tar sands and fracking, those are horrible for the environment, as the people of Texas are going to find out. Sorry, love you, Texas.
No, we lost another state.
Yeah, just West Texas. Just West Texas. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I do hope, that in, where are we? June, 6 months. I hope we're celebrating, popping a cork and saying we got 1 million EVs.
That's the plan.
That will be a party night. We will have to, I like that idea, Tony.
Yeah, I think we should track down that 1 millionth buyer.
Buyer, yes. And scare the crap out of them.
Yeah. Show up with like cameras and lights and go, hey!
So like Publishers Clearinghouse at their front door.
Right.
Yeah,
giant
on their front porch.
There's 1 million EVs, not dollars.
Yeah.
Some
Here we are.
balloons.
Here we are live on the internet at your house on your doorstep, banging on the door with the bright lights. Yeah, that'll go over really well.
That is so
Well, I am
horrible.
still waiting for my Model 3. Maybe mine will be the 1 millionth.
You wouldn't mind those bright lights showing up on your doorstep. You'd be okay with that.
No.
As long as they're solar powered.
Patrick, you have to move to Canada though to get yours.
Yeah, that's where they're all going today.
That's it. They're all in Canada.
That's if I wanted it this month. But come July, they're coming back to the U.S., baby.
You hope. Oh, you hope. Well, our next story is something that Patrick used to call my rant, and I just see things sometimes and I get irritated. So I'm going to do a little screen share here. So
yeah, I actually shared this on the What Drives Us page, just hoping to irritate Russell, and mission accomplished.
So Patrick has Patrick has a long history of trolling me on what is essentially my site. I mean, it's our site.
Right.
But
It's true.
The funniest thing is, like, Patrick's running psychological evaluations every day on that site. Like, how long will it take him to respond to this? Will he say something? What will he say? I know somewhere you're keeping track of this shit. Okay.
I've got a spreadsheet.
Exactly.
And a chart.
Exactly. Oh my God. It took him 4.5 hours. So I intentionally try not to. And sometimes I just go on there and go, stop trolling me. And sometimes I respond. You know, it's usually the motorcycle thing
for all the viewers.
So Tony, if you're gonna present that. Can you?
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna ask you to change the pictures. Okay.
I can try. Okay.
Yeah, not right now, but first. So Roadshow, CNET. Roadshow is CNET's car portion of their site. I was never a huge CNET fan, but Roadshow has its moments, and there are decent people there. But for the most part, it's kind of the same sort of crappy, shallow journalism that CNET is. And this article really stuck in my craw, mainly because, number one, it's so subjective. It's like doing an article on why brown cars are inherently and always ugly. You know, or why cars shouldn't be green or whatever. It's very subjective. And of course they picked on a couple things that I like. So first up, this was about, what was it, 11 things that no car should have. And the first thing is light up badges. Okay. I think light up badges are cool. Okay. I think light up badges are cool. There's nothing wrong with them. And if you just want to pee in my pool because I think light up badges are cool, then fine, Roadshow, but you're wrong here. Yeah. Now,
there's like a kit that makes the T and the Tesla light up. That's cool.
There is. You have to drill a little hole in your Tesla to do it, though. So that's why I don't have one. I'm afraid to do that.
Oh, you have to drill a hole in your hood?
The trunk.
It goes in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would. Tony, I don't know where you are, but you're not on the story I'm on.
Yeah.
I appreciate it though, but you've totally confused me.
Yeah,
Right,
you should just share yours, Russell.
Wait, I'm trying to go next. It's
Now,
not
what
letting
would
me
be
know.
cool to put the
Is it
light
not
up
letting you go
Chevrolet
next?
logo on the Mercedes.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal this away from you here.
Yeah, it's not letting me click next. I
That's
don't know
okay.
why.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem, Tony.
Okay.
We've got so many people viewing it right now. We've just crashed their servers.
Right.
Yeah, 4 of us have locked up the CNET site. Okay, 4 of us. So the next thing,
guys in the chat room,
and this is actually something that I kind of have an issue with, but not their issue. Their issue here was massive grills that are mostly closed off. You know, let's be realistic. It's 2018, and some parts of the exterior of a vehicle are just for decoration, and that's okay. Okay, a grill doesn't have to be completely open. It's not dishonest. Now, there are other parts, there are other exterior features that are dishonest. We're going to get to those. But I actually, I'm not a big fan of the super huge, like what I call whale shark grills.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially on Lexus. I'm sorry, Lexus. But
that's the Predator grill.
I know, because thank you, Mark. Yes, the Lexus F Sport grills look like the Predator, the alien from Predator.
Exactly.
I love the cars, but
all right.
Yeah, I don't know. So whatever, I kind of get this. I mean, but I think they're being car weenies here. Like, oh, it's closed off, like who cares?
Well, don't some of them have they can open and close?
Yeah,
now?
some of them have louvers.
Yes, some of them have louvers, some of them have active grill blocking. Then there's a thing here, fake vents. Now, that's a little bit different. But again, it's like, what is a hood ornament? Is a hood ornament inherently bad because it's just ornamentation? Fake vents. Okay, it's kind of, I get it. Like, I get why the fake thing kind of bothers them, but it's decoration. The exterior of a car.
Style thing,
yeah. I don't think, okay, on the Buick, no, stop. Full stop. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just take
Actually,
that
I
off.
like that one better than the last one if you're going to go fake vents.
But
like you said, they're subjective. So
yeah, it's so subjective. Jewel headlights. This has got to be almost the dumbest part of this whole article. Jewel headlights. So the whole point is that, like, because LEDs work differently than halogen lights, sometimes it works to have a bank of them rather than one large die. So they have multiple headlights, that multiple focusing lenses, and they call them jewel headlights, but they're horrible because they look like spiders or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that part I agree was just kind of
just about stupid.
Right.
Yeah, it's a new technology. Use it in new cool ways. Why try to make it look like the old one? If be freed up to try new stuff.
Yeah,
right.
And I actually think the multiple light thing looks cool. Now, we could disagree on that, but again, not inherently bad. Oh, Lexus, here's another one. Why is that fundamentally wrong? Because somebody wants a round glass headlight.
You have more design options when you don't have one big round headlight, and you can make it more aerodynamic and slim, thinner.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Mark doesn't even care about this. I'm not calling you out of class. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying. Mark, you look so bored. I'm sorry.
Did you catch me with my head down on the desk?
No, I think so. Okay, so here's where I'm going to agree with CNET. Fake exhaust tips.
Right.
Really irritating. Okay. Really irritating. And that one asshole that put fake exhaust tips on his Tesla, I get that maybe you were doing some trolling, but you're a jerk. Okay, you're a jerk. I don't know how many times I've crawled into a car, you just see like dual or quad exhaust, and only one of them is connected to a pipe. They don't even bother like branching the pipe out at the end. It's like
that's extra money.
Yeah. That is irritating to me. Why do I care?
I don't like cars that suffer from TMT. That's too many tailpipes.
I like that TMT.
I think one is too many in my opinion.
Well, there's that too. Boy, we could someday soon. We're going to talk about my bike riding adventures and exhaust pipes. Oof. So yeah, here we go again. Here's like 1, 2, 3. Who knows? Maybe there's 10 there. It might be 4. I'm not really sure, but they're not all connected. Someone to help me with this. Asymmetrical wheels.
I think the point here was that they face one way on the. So they basically face the same way, but when you look at it on the left side or the right side, on one side, like for example here, the wheels are moved. They look like they're rolling counterclockwise. On the other side, they look like they're rolling clockwise.
Well, it's just that they're not. If you cut it in half, you don't have the same thing on each side. I think that's what they're talking about. How it has that twist in the middle. Right.
Okay. And that's bad because someone can see both sides of your car, and then that incongruity bothers them.
And if MC Escher took a picture of your car, you would see how stupid that looks.
Okay, Paul.
I thought they meant like how front wheels are different than the rear.
Oh,
like Porsche has super wide rear wheels and the fronts are different, but that's probably not what they meant.
yeah. No, they're talking about something much more trivial.
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah,
I
yours is an actual performance issue.
Right.
That would
Yeah,
matter.
So-
It's all about the aesthetics.
So weird.
So is there a solution that there should be right side, left side wheels?
I would hate that. Then
I
you've got,
guess so.
you know, the craziness that you're having to produce 2 sets of wheels for every car. I'm sure the manufacturers
Yeah.
would love to do that.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, buying wheels would be like going to the shoe store where you go
Yeah,
to
I
check
need a
out
left
and they
and
pick
a
up
right,
and go, do
yeah.
you have a left one? Do you have a right one? You know.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. We rotated your tires, and now your car spins in circles.
Exactly. Oh, and here's one I do not understand in the least. Floating roofs. Someone named Kyle Hyatt at CNET hates floating roofs because it interrupts the eye moving over a car.
Huh?
Not really.
I think it's just nice design work, and maybe you don't like it, and that's okay. It's okay not to like it, but it's not stupid.
Right. I actually like that look.
Yeah, I think it's,
So it's
Yeah, right.
yeah, that black part by the hatch
Yeah.
makes it look like the metal is suspended there. I like it.
there you go. Lousy floating roof design on an Aston Martin DB11. Well, everyone knows that car's ass ugly. Come on.
Yeah, that car is so beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Even though it
That
has
is so
TNT.
ugly. Yeah, if you gave it to me, I would have to park it in my garage.
Yeah, exactly. Probably has fake exhaust tips too. And here's another one that I think if you spend too much time like reviewing cars or writing about cars, maybe coupe overs. It's a coupe over. And the way they explain this is it's sort of like imagine the Toyota CHR. It has that kind of rounded, small coupe shape. The back door may even be smaller, or it may be a suicide door. But beyond the inherent ugliness and pointlessness of these vehicles, I hate that automakers actually charge more. You know what? Automakers charge more for all kinds of crazy shit. This is just a design. Like, I get if you don't like it, but it's not bad.
Well, the name is bad. I'll give him that much.
Coupe over?
No,
Yeah,
they're
Yeah.
comb over.
dude, I've never heard that come from an automaker.
Come over.
This car's so bad we had to like do a comb over to make it look
So
good.
this is the Mercedes, and that's our show title.
What's that?
The Mercedes.
The Mercedes Comb Over.
Oh, I like that.
And look, it has 4 exhaust pipes, 2 on either side. I bet they're all real.
Absolutely. Good German smoke comes out of those every time. So, yeah, I mean, there's another coupe over, I guess. Just, I don't.
You know,
But
I
that's
will
a
say,
sports activity coupe.
Yeah.
you know, the one thing about these coupe overs, comb overs, stupid things, the only thing I don't like about them is I look at it and I see how much cargo space is wasted by having the back slant down so rapidly. If you just squared it out, you'd pick up like 4 or 5 cubic feet of cargo space.
And give
lose
yourself
1 or
some
2 MPG.
Right.
And better visibility.
And better visibility. Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, our final CNET problem here is excessively low profile tires. And on this, I agree. 100%.
They are stupid.
Oh my God. Who said this was cool?
People that didn't have to pay for the tire repairs.
Yeah. And the hassle to mount those tires onto those skinny tires onto the big wheels. Pain in the butt.
There's nothing practical about that.
No, worse ride, more damage, cost
More expensive.
Right.
They burst when you hit a pothole.
And
Is it-
subjectively uglier.
Is this firsthand knowledge, Paul, from your Vanagons? You put a lot of low profile tires.
Yeah. No, but we have customers that have cars with low profile, and they're all a pain in the butt. So unless you really, really think they're cool, don't buy them.
Yeah, I just like, and you know what? I'm not going to be judgy. Like, if you think low profile tires are awesome, you get them. A good friend of Tony's and mine.
Just be prepared to replace them twice as much as
Yeah, has a Volkswagen R, and dude has gone through tires. Rick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every time he hits a curb or something, like boom, there's goes a tire. It's like,
and on top of it, it's not just the tire. Sometimes it's the rim because there's less of a chance of it to bounce off of it. You're smashing a rim on top of a tire.
Yep.
Like it's crazy. But man, it seems to be a trend.
Yeah. If you want to do it, cool, I guess. I'm not, like
somebody has to keep the economy going. Good job. Yeah. Go for it.
Well, finally tonight, wanted to talk a little bit about the Tesla shareholder meeting. And I'll just, before I kind of turn it over and see what everybody else, this is the first time I've watched the Tesla shareholder meeting live. And I want to tell you, it was an exercise of will not to kill myself.
The struggle is real.
There is nothing more tedious than the shareholder meeting. And before the Tesla fans start drafting the emails, what I mean by that is it's not Elon or Franz or anybody else on the stage. It is the long line of Tesla shareholders that come up that have either something so personal of a nature that it's like it is only applies to them, or they're there to shill for their business that Elon might want to take advantage of. So kind of like a life coach bothering you at a restaurant, like, I don't mean to disturb your meal, but have you thought about seeing a life coach and seeing how they could change your, no, just stop. It's a shareholders meeting. Let's keep it to business. And I guess, is that the democratic nature of it, that like everybody who owns stock can come in and say whatever they want? Yay.
Yep. That's exactly it. They can't bar a shareholder from the meeting until they say, until they brandish a gun, and that's it.
I wish more people had been carrying guns. I truly do.
This was one of the less interesting shareholder meetings. I agree that they all have. They're not as good as the analyst calls. He gets way more in detail on those. But there was an analyst call or a shareholder meeting in the past where somebody asked to be CEO and started crying. And that was an interesting question, which Elon just said no.
Well,
yeah, they're sometimes fun.
So the first thing we should say is Tesla's at 319 today. That's the highest that stock has been. I'm sorry.
You know why? Do you know what happened? I saw it bump, but I haven't checked for news. I was very interested in
all the tech was up. Even Apple's near its all-time high again.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. In general, I think. Well, you made the mistake of asking me. I think it's because Elon didn't say anything just ridiculously stupid or rude this time. That's my take on it. I hate to say that.
Low bar. If that's cool. I'm glad that. Let's have another meeting.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, Tesla is the favorite of day traders everywhere. I mean, it's been kind of languishing down for a while, and now all of a sudden,
people are ready to take the ride up again.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad it went up because I try not to do this, but when it was down in the 250s on this show, I said this is a good chance to buy, and I'm buying some. So if you guys listened, you went from 250 to 320 or whatever it is now. So that was a good ride.
Sell.
This is not a financial show. Trust me.
Yeah, but if you hold, it's not my problem. You had your chance.
There you go. Yeah, I wash my hands of it.
As Tony has said, I think several times, if you make your investing decisions based on this show, you're going to get
bigger problems.
Yeah, you get bigger issues. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just one thing. I thought Elon was pretty good. I mean, he seemed to answer most of the questions carefully. He didn't criticize a lot of people. I guess they're all shareholders. Maybe that, journalists are free game, shareholders not as much. Not really. Elon's actually
most of them are customers as well.
Yeah, he's been kind of an equal opportunity shut you down kind of guy. The whole thing about getting Elon out of the CEO role was a joke to begin with, and it didn't happen. Guess what? He's still CEO. So that's sort of
and
like
his brother still on the board. That was another thing that was up for a vote.
Yeah.
All board members remain the same.
Yep.
You know, there was good news that China is going to allow Tesla to build vehicles in China without having a local partner. They will be able to own the factory and it will be theirs. So that's certainly big news and a huge market. If and when Tesla has the resources and the time to actually do that, which certainly kind of up for question, right? Model Y is going to be announced next spring. I think he confirmed that.
The Ides of March.
The Ides of March, yes.
That's right.
Yeah, although he didn't nail it down to a specific day like he did on Twitter. He just said around March. So he softened that a little bit.
Yeah. You know, there's a third line of Model 3 that is cranking up to augment the initial two. Elon's thing was that this third line will be faster than the other two, and that once this one's up and running, they will retool the other ones to make it as fast to get to the high production that they need to do with Model 3. All excellent news if that comes true.
Was that a battery line or was that at the Fremont factory for the car assembly?
Model 3.
I missed that one.
Yeah, Model 3 in Fremont.
Yeah, but was it batteries for Model 3 or was it actual vehicle assembly?
Vehicle assembly. What do they call it? Final assembly? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Final assembly.
Cool.
Yeah. I didn't realize they had multiple lines, to be honest with you. I will admit that. And if those of you out there know that.
Yeah, I thought they were going to add more lines to go from 5,000 to 10,000.
Right.
But I didn't think that they were adding more lines now. But yeah, anything that gets that volume up, that's all good news.
Right. And absolutely. I mean, that's what Tesla needs to do with all those reservations on the Tesla Life. The other show that most of us here participate in, there was talk about some speculation that as much as 23% of the people who had reservations were dropping out. I don't know that that's a big deal, to be honest with you. In fact, and I don't think it's unexpected, but nonetheless, it was news because it had the word Tesla in it.
Yeah, I think that's a story that is framed in a negative way that has not much truth to it. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, certainly there are people that have said, I can't wait. And there are certainly people that bought Model S's and who knows why. And somebody lost their job and took their reservation back. But they also said that they still have 450,000-ish reservations, which means that for everybody that's either got a car or dropped out, they've had a person step in to replace them.
Yeah, but you would agree that the longer it takes to get the car you're waiting for, life situations and things may change the prospective purchaser's mind. And the longer it is, the more likely it is that they would drop out.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But demand is not the problem. There's no demand problem.
No, there's no demand problem.
Yeah, okay. Way more people than we need. Oh, wait, some people at the end of the line moved around. What? Is that why is that relevant? Why is that news? It's not.
Well, you might be making a little bit too much of that. You know what I mean, Patrick? Like, I think it's legitimate news.
Okay, we disagree.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that...
But it's like if people are waiting for concert tickets and they have, more people than seats, and like Patrick says, some of the people in the line leave, but other people come and take their place. It's still more demand than supply.
I totally agree. I'm not saying, I don't mean to imply that. I just again, it's news when you get 400,000 reservations. It's news when maybe as many as 20% of those or more drop out because they had to wait 24, 26, 30 months. Okay. No big deal. I'm glad Tesla is filling in. I'm sorry?
You said 25,000 out of 450?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say 20%-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. According to the article, it was 23%. Tony, you, what was it? They said from credit card information or something? We're not really sure how they got that number.
Yeah, really credit and debit.
Yeah, I don't know if they somehow were able to track, they would look at, $1,000 down payments and refunds or something, and they could track Tesla, we have no idea how they got this information, but they claimed that they were tracking credit and debit transfers somehow. They never went into how. I think they were just hacking computers.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, good luck reading that, because Tesla does not release that information, and they do have some part about how much they have for reservations, but it's mixed with other vehicles. And like I said earlier, if you actually get your car delivered, you're also going to come off that list. So, this is specious data at best.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, no matter who your company is, no matter what industry you're in, 450,000 people waiting for your product is a sales funnel that people would love. They would die to have that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They
with very little advertising expenditure.
Exactly, Paul. Even without any marketing dollars whatsoever.
Elon also said that the much lauded $35,000 Model 3 will be available beginning in late this year, early next year. I think from just the way he said it, I'm thinking Q1 2019.
December 31st.
Yeah, but we'll see.
It will not be the 1 millionth EV.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously that's something a lot of people are waiting for too.
It is, absolutely. And we've talked about Musk's standard time, MST, or Elon time, as people are now calling it. If he says late this year, early next, then it's really early next year or later.
Right.
As much as I'm a Tesla fanboy, that's not true. Especially if they're trying to focus on profitability in Q3 and Q4. They're not going to make the cheap car. No way. They're going to be making dual motor performance and the premium package long range. Next year at best.
Didn't Musk, like even in a tweet, said the low cost car isn't good for revenue?
He did.
I mean, he flat out said that.
Well, it makes sense.
Like, it's good for revenue, but it's not great for profit.
Right. They have to get the volume up to the point where the lower profit car coming off a high volume line allows them to make some money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just think, everybody knows that. I just don't think CEOs are supposed to come out and say, we're not going to produce the cheap version because the expensive ones give us more revenue, give us more profit.
Well, the last thing I have to say about this story comes from a personal place. And Elon ended absolutely no one's speculation that Tesla would ever build a Tesla motorcycle. And he ended it very definitively by saying, no, there will never be a Tesla motorcycle.
Just like the CEO question.
Right. Can't be CEO and...
But wasn't this, Russell, not just no, but wasn't it no full stop?
Yeah, it was an emphatic no. It was and I didn't hear it all, unfortunately, but he told some story about how he liked motorcycles when he was a kid or something, I don't know. And then but it was like, no, we will never build a motorcycle. I'm like, okay.
He said that he was almost killed by a truck when he was riding a motorcycle. So that's why the answer is no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I can't say I'm bummed, honestly. Like I would be much more excited about a Honda electric motorcycle than I would be a Tesla. Sorry.
Oh, but how much press hype would they have got if he had just teased? Maybe that's a possibility. I've been thinking about it.
Oh,
You'd be seeing tons of articles, and for everybody that says he's a hype man and just a shill and all that.
No.
That was a perfect opportunity for him to just play that game, and I'm glad to hear him. He just
the bogus sketches would be all over.
You do not get to give him a gold star because he resisted his base impulse. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, Patrick, you are right. Academically, you are very correct. But you just, like, hey, he didn't kill anybody on stage either.
Yeah, he resisted that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yay! Well, you started it by he didn't berate the people asking questions.
I did. And I'll give him, given the way he's been on social media lately, that was kind of surprising. You know, I saw more than a few comments. It seemed like Elon might have been chemically relaxed,
or maybe he had a media coach to tell him, like, pause before you open your mouth or something.
Or maybe he's actually been getting a good night's sleep finally.
Maybe.
Why? What's been keeping him up?
Sleeping on top of the factory.
Oh,
right. Yeah. So I mean, that was when he was trying to solve problems.
He got that new couch. He's fine.
Yeah.
His new girlfriend
Teslanomics delivered a new couch, so that he's quite happy now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'll be short. You talked about how he's been on Twitter lately. He has been making an effort to find the fan accounts. You mentioned Teslanomics. He's been tweeting to him, and Ride the Lightning. We talked about that, and EV News. He's been tweeting to these people that actually are pro EV and are talking about Tesla in positive lights and getting the news out there. So I think he's trying to avoid the naysayers because they only tick him off, and he wants to yell at them and instead find the right people to talk to.
Well, maybe.
Well, couple other points from the meeting, just to fire off a few more. The roof is slow to roll out due to the need to testing overtime. Is that the metal roof? I'm not sure. He was talking about that as a point.
Solar roof. Yeah.
Oh,
he's talking about solar roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And the other thing was some of the other points that he had said was that, of course, the Model 3 are now coming to stores as a performance version that can be test driven. Mm-hmm. The top of the line car will be out there. They are now creating Tesla body shops that are going to be part of the service centers in major metropolitan areas.
Okay, let's wait. Hold the list there. Why are they putting Model 3s out in the stores? We just talked about how they have more demand that they can meet for at least a year and a half.
But Patrick, they're putting out the performance version, the one that people will have to pay a serious premium to get.
Yeah,
more profit.
That was rhetorical on your part, right, Patrick?
Just baiting, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
No, they could put those cars in people's hands and get the money for them.
But he's still Elon. And you know what? I'll defend it. I think he should have a car in the stores. I think he should have demos in there. I mean, what are we talking about? How many stores are there?
Hundreds.
Yeah, you're right. Are there? If you look around the world,
worldwide,
sure,
yeah.
I mean, we're talking
people
about.
do want to go touch and feel what they're spending.
Maybe we're talking about 1,000 cars. Fine,
less than 1 week's production. Yeah. Maybe 1 day's production.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I see this two ways. One way is put the car in the showroom, and then maybe you attract new people to put down a deposit. Maybe you put the car in the showroom, and those people who were iffy about asking for a refund can go see the car and say, okay, I'm staying on the list.
Right. Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, a lot of the stores do have the cars already, but this is test drives. You can now test drive the car.
Right.
So it's not just a styrofoam car.
Right.
Yeah. The current cars are Vens 1000 and lower.
Styrofoam.
Yeah. I just think if somebody walks in and goes, "Wow, I like this. How do I get one?" You have to get on this, and you'll be number 485,000 on the list. That's not a great message.
No, I think the 1,000 is an asterisk.
Yeah, but
you're number 485 asterisk.
I mean, that's just Elon reverting to form, isn't it? I mean, I'm not trying to even be mean. But yeah, I mean, maybe, he's going to have a demo model of a vehicle that they can't get for 2 years or whatever. Maybe. But solar roof? Just saying.
Yeah, long waits are not unheard of.
Yeah, this is the way Tesla does business. Right. In my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional. I think they really are making as many as they can, and you're right, it is cool to have it. So, all right. Okay.
Oh, definitely. I mean, hey, nothing like going into the store and seeing a P100D there, and the guy goes, "Do you want to drive it?" Well, hell yes, I want to drive it. It's a P100D. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's true. Yeah. If I find out that my local store has one, I'm going to go drive it. Yeah.
Hell
so
yes,
I can't
will.
wait.
You're gonna drive your Leaf into, you're not gonna drive your Tesla to the Tesla showroom.
Good upgrade.
So
Why
what
not?
is this Tesla thing I've been hearing about?
Yeah.
Is it as fast as my Leaf?
I heard that they're not very fast. Is that true?
Yeah.
Almost as fast as the Bolt.
I bet you my Leaf is faster.
That would be fun. I might just control.
Should get like a body cam and go in and do that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Now there were several other things in this meeting, but I'm just going to highlight one more. They're seeing a 30% increase in the density capability in same battery size. So that is them working and researching on batteries and driving the cost down. Where Elon has said that they're going to be at $100 as a charge per kilowatt coming up in the next couple of years.
That's
so
pretty cool.
That's going to drive down the price of the car as well, or drive up the profit, depending on how you're slicing it. But again, that's a great milestone to be heading towards.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And hugely important. I mean, just like those German folks we talked about on the Tesla Life, discovering that there's less cobalt in the batteries than they thought, hey, yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yep. And they don't have to wait for solid state batteries to be profitable or whatever.
Right.
It's cool.
Exactly. Well, let's do some shout outs and go home, gentlemen. Paul, can I give it to you first?
Sure. I'll just say hello to everybody in the Colorado region, and my shop, Boulder Hybrids, boulderhc.com, can service and fix your hybrid or your EV. So check us out.
And what about the sales, Paul?
And if you're looking to buy a used hybrid or EV, give us a call. We can find you one, sell you one, buy your old one, whatever you want.
Ooh.
Thank you.
So you could trade in your old.
You can trade up. You can trade in your Leaf for a Tesla.
Yeah.
I don't have any Teslas right now, but I'll get you one if you need it.
We'll find one if you need one.
Just as a side note, I was looking on cars.com the other day, and there are a couple of dozen Model 3s in the resale market. The only problem is they're asking like 60 grand for them, which you could get a Model S used for that. So
you get a Model S for less than that.
Yeah. So if you really, really want a Model 3, you can buy one today. You're just going to pay a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they're putting it out there.
Yep. Well, Patrick, why don't you put it out there?
Okay. Excuse me while I whip this down. This is a G-rated show. So I am with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And I also write at carswithcords.net. You can find my scribblings there. Thank you.
Awesome. Definitely do the follow on the ovea.org. Great stuff. Even if Patrick does spend far too much of his time trolling me. But I guess
not nearly enough.
I'm predictable. Mr. Coughlin, shout outs for you, sir.
Just a shout out to the Waterloo Region EVA. As you can see in my lower third, that some people and others do
He
not.
works in Canada.
I know what Google's doing to us.
Enjoy your week, people. Thanks very much for joining us, and certainly thanks for the chat room and the banter that's been going on all evening.
Oh, yeah. Do they have any good show title suggestions out there? Chat room?
I might be sticking with Mercedes Combover.
Okay.
That's
a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. Tony P, wrap it up for me, baby.
Yeah, shout out, of course, to everyone in the chat room. We keep referring to the chat room. Thanks so much, guys and Shauna, for spending some time with us this evening or morning, wherever you are. And I also want to give a shout out to William, Marty, Ineptly, and Alvin, who are our newer subscribers to the YouTube channel. And a very particular shout out to the son of a bitch who unsubscribed to lower us down to 499 and then resubscribed apparently to take us back up after we had celebrated the 500 subscriptions. So kudos for doing it.
I think we were at 507 right before the show. So cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So of course, yeah. Thanks again to everybody. And speaking of subscribing to the show, if this happens to be the first time you stumbled upon the show, make sure you go to youtube.com/whatdrivesus. And if you like the show and you want to subscribe, make sure to click the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications of new, oh, look at that, Matt just subscribed. Was that a resubscribe, Matt? Because I'm right now. Matt.
It'd be like everybody dropping and then re-upping and
then
dropping.
He just
exactly. Yeah, now it's a game.
But nobody noticed. So yeah,
I've got a few
just saw that
out there.
So yeah, go to youtube.com, hit the subscribe button if you want to get notifications of when the show starts or intermittent stuff. Click the bell and you'll get email notifications.
Russell with the magnifying glass.
I got nothing. As always, thanks to Michael Manring for our theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. As Tony said, big youtube.com/whatdrivesus. Go there and subscribe, please. Facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Instagram @whatdrivesus. This week I'm driving the Lexus IS350 in British Racing Red. It might not be British. Maybe it's just Racing Red. I don't know. But so look for that review soon. The Highlander review is up now. I want to thank everybody on the panel so much for being here. Thanks, guys, for coming in and really doing an improv show, because that's what tonight was. So nice job, gentlemen. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. Big chat room tonight, too. Thank you for that. That's totally cool.
Yeah, awesome.
And, of course, thanks to all of you out there who watch and listen and download. Check us out next week and find out what drives us.
What drives us?
Dramatic pause.
Everybody say it quietly. What drives us?
What drives us?
Okay. Time to go. Have a great week.